It's Tea with Mr. V.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tea with Mr. V, a show where I sit down with some of my friends and creators and have some nice chats. I am your host, Mr. V, from the Adventures of Mr. V on the Tickety Talks. Make sure if you're not from there, what are you doing? Go follow me. And also, I have a Ko-fi for this show, Ko-fi.com/Tea with Mr. V. If you want to help support the show and support what we do here, go ahead and check that out. And joining me today is the wonderful lyrical master himself, Mr. Matt Denkles from the other Tickety Talks. Hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm Matt, or on TikTok at Denkles. I make little parodies and things like that from the D&D or tabletop community space. Recently, I've been doing a lot of rock songs, but for the most part, I do raps and things that rhyme generally, and it's a blast. But thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. It's we had last week we had Weston, who was in the chat. So we thought we'd keep the vibes going with the music and the music boys and
Absolutely
keep her going.
Now, Wes is a tough act to follow. Just gonna say, he's amazing.
Wes is amazing. But I'm sure we'll shout him out a lot in the show as well. I think we can get started. So I have a very important quest for you, Matt. Very important.
Absolutely.
What are we drinking today?
I am drinking some good old-fashioned wild berry zinger. It's actually hot. I found myself drinking it.
What are we drinking today?
It's a tea that I always drink when I wasn't feeling good, and my mom would make it for me. It's super good. Tastes like raspberries. And it's really good when it's warm and it's just like a cold, rainy day, or you're just really not feeling good, because it helps with your throat and stuff, especially if you have a sore throat. But it's super good.
Oh yeah, it's lovely. I have something very, very similar. It's always interesting having some berry teas. Thank you for coming in and enjoying some tea with me today.
Absolutely. So how's your day been going? I'm gonna turn the script on you. What questions we got? How's your day been?
No,
right off the bat.
You can't do this to me.
Well, no, you did the rhyming, and now it's changing it. I guess I would say I can't find a rhyme for Dinkles with Mr. Dinkles. Never mind. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Thank you for derailing me for a second there, Matt. I can always rely on you. Yeah. Keep me on my toes.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. I think we can get started on this. Obviously, everybody should know you for your music and what you do there, because you're so lyrically talented. Why did you start creating music and stuff?
I would say with creating music, I've been making music for a while. Back when I was in middle school, I want to say, I had a friend down the road whose dad used to be a DJ, and so we'd have all these vinyl records, crates and crates of vinyl records that we'd be able to go through, and he had turntables, Tectonics, are really cool, that we were able to just actually practice mixing and being able to remix songs and stuff like that. And then every middle schooler had at one point Fruity Loops or some type of audio making machine where they were oh man, I'm gonna be a dubstep maker or a beat maker or something like that, and it was always fun. But for the most part, I just liked hearing music and little melodies and jingles that come into my head. I like humming them, and so anytime I had a little piano roll or beat mapper to play it onto, I'd be oh, that's fun to listen to, and kind of just create whatever comes to my brain at the time.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And so that's how we'll slowly molded into going into rap and rock and that kind of stuff, and doing all your parodies and
because it really kind of came from the genres that I was interested in when I was I guess growing up, all the songs that I would listen to that really kind of inspires what genres I like and kind of what I like to parody and replicate if I can.
So what kind of music did you used to listen to before you
Honestly, like a lot. It would go probably. I'd said before I listened to like System of a Down a lot. That was a band I liked. Tenacious D, Jack Black, was really cool. School of Rock was a really influential movie in my childhood too. But
Oh yeah.
you have that. I like rap music, like George Watsky, who's a spoken word poet and rapper. Does a lot of really awesome stuff. He's very verbose with what he says. And wordy, and makes kind of like every word he says mean something, and like you take impact with every line. And then other stuff like Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy, the general like alt rock type of genre, Blink-182, obviously. Other songs like that pretty much anytime you were like asking somebody what'd you listen to in middle school, that was it. That's pretty much it. My entire discography of songs I love to hear.
Okay. Awesome. And you can definitely hear a lot of that stuff like in like the music you create today, which I think is really, really cool. So yeah, like as well as like creating and producing and that kind of stuff, like you obviously have been doing it for how long at this point?
For like specifically TikTok music or just music in general?
Just like creating and producing music. We a little thingy on
I would
the screen.
say I think that's a tough one. For I guess producing and everything all together, this past year has probably been the most active and like social about it I've been. Otherwise though, just like thinking of fun stuff to do or just messing around with beats and stuff like that, I've been probably doing that for about like 5 or 6 years. Just very low key, nothing major or anything like that.
Okay, cool. And like what's like typically like your process for like making all of that stuff? Like
if it's something from scratch, like a beat that I'm making, I'll go through, either listen to songs that I want to try and embody in what I'm making and try and get a similar vibe or aesthetic to it. Other times I can just be going through the different samples or little like MIDI files that you'll have. Like I'm recently using Ableton, and Ableton Live 10 is specifically, but you can go through and hear the different like audio sounds, like drums, hi-hats and snares and stuff like that. And whatever I'm hearing, I'm just like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. And I'd mess around with it and see if that would be something that I would want to work with. Depending on the genre of music I'm trying to make, I'll either come up with the melody first or the beat, just because those are the main like driving forces for a lot of the things I like to listen to.
All right, awesome. I love that. So like for like an example, like with like a lot of your like rock stuff that you're doing now, like what would you say is like your like how would that differ from like making like your rap stuff?
So it honestly doesn't really differ that much. If anything, it makes it a bit easier, especially like the more recent song I just posted today, which was the "What's My Save" or "What's the Save Again." That was the "What's My Age Again" Blink-182 parody I made. I actually this exact question I have just posted on my YouTube, the entire process of me writing it, just to kind of like show people how I go about writing it. And a lot of it comes from copying what the like initial part of the song that you hear, the catchy bits that you're like, oh, that reminds me of what this sounded like, or this was similar when I heard it before the first time, and kind of mimicking the rhymes. And then after you get maybe 2 or 3 lines into the song, the rest of it's fair game. As long as you just say it in the same tune or melody, you can pretty much do whatever you need to. But generally, I just try and copy the same pacing and syllables that the original song has, but obviously change the meaning of the song of whatever else it needs to be.
Yeah, awesome. If like you've seen it, if people here haven't seen it, I recently did a little thing for you, right around. Big shouts to Mr. Tiggy Biddles for helping me through that, as I did not know what I was doing whatsoever.
It was awesome. You did good.
Yeah, thanks, man. it was for you, obviously. You know, and yeah, it just experiencing that, even though it was like a little, like a small kind of snippet of like what I guess you do. It was a process, man.
Yeah, it's not
It was a
easy.
process.
It is not an easy process. So kudos to you for doing that. It's I'm thankful that for the musical process, the lyrics aren't the hard part for me, because it is a really challenging thing to do. But if I catch myself at the right rhythm and I am just focused on it, I can get some lyrics crushed out in a really quick time. It just depends on like how I'm feeling towards the melody. Again, that's like kind of the important part that drives it, that I can be able to easily fit in syllables or rhyme schemes and be like, ooh, that'll work, this will work, boom, 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 and get the whole thing written. But yeah, it is not an easy task. So that is an impressive feat alone. Just writing it, performing it, that's a whole other beast on its own. So you did both on, check both of those boxes off, which is great. So,
dude, am I like a level 10 bard now? Like,
yeah, I mean, I would say so. Yeah, level 10. Take some proficiencies.
Okay, cool.
Like you got the jack of all trades. You can do pretty much anything at that point. You can pass any check pretty much being a bard.
Yeah. So being a level 20 bard, and we don't have to touch on it too much. But like, how did it feel being claimed as a level 20 bard by the god himself?
It seemed a bit surreal. It was I wasn't expecting him to retweet it, because I was just genuinely asking a question whenever I had made that original song. I think it was the sea shanty song that I made from the Wildmount book. I totally wasn't expecting a retweet from that. That was crazy. And being dubbed level 20 bard definitely put some big shoes for me to fill, or I guess they're my own shoes now that I have that title. But it was definitely cool, very humbling. But I am honored to take that title and have it bestowed upon me.
So speaking of the D&D world and being a bard and stuff, obviously, again, you play D&D. If that wasn't obvious from
just a little bit,
your songs and parodies and being coined a level 20, but what's
never
a level 20 bard? Like,
never heard of the game.
Yeah,
was that Dota?
D&D, never heard of her.
Dota
like,
and Dota?
Is that like League of Legends?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah,
I know
cool.
what that is.
So, like, how long have you been like playing D&D?
March was a year, so not very long. I've known about D&D, but just as much as anyone from the outside of the community would, of just like, oh, you rolled dice or something, and that was about it. It wasn't until my friend had taken me to a convention or Comic-Con in my area, and he had taken some pictures with some Critical Role cosplayers, which at the time didn't know who they were. I was like, who's this green person? Who's this blue person? Okay, cool, whatever. Let's just take the picture and keep going. Now, hindsight, would have been so cool to snap some pictures with those guys because they look super cool. But he was buying some dice, and I was like, what are you getting dice for? Like, what is it, for a game or something? And he told me D&D. I had heard of it, but I hadn't tried it myself, and was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, what got you into it? And he was just telling me about all the stuff he does with his friends and all the games he plays, and then had shown me Critical Role on the way back when we were driving. It was a couple hours of driving, so I was able to get like an episode or two in and just be hooked immediately. And then from there, I just listened to pretty much every episode. I'm current with everything that's been happening for both campaigns, and I think that's where a lot of my knowledge about the game comes from, because a lot of people think I've been playing for much longer than I have been, and it's mainly just because I've watched years of D&D be played. In the span of that 1 year, I've only been playing myself. So
also, it's like I love to hear like how many people have gotten into like D&D because of like Critical Role and that kind of stuff, and being so like I guess there's, I don't know if you've like faced it, probably maybe not, but like, have you ever encountered like any kind of like, I guess I wouldn't say jealousy, but like, has there like, have you had to like face like negativity when it comes to the fact of being making D&D content and being kind of sort of recognized by that kind of community and by Mr. Matt Mercer himself?
I guess I haven't really gotten much pushback. A lot of the stuff that I post is generally positive to where I don't think it would draw much attention. I'm not necessarily quoting rules explicitly or saying this is how this happens. But honestly, like being recognized for being in the community or being a part of the community is definitely, it's cool to be able to do that. But I haven't had anyone specifically say like, oh, you don't deserve to do that because you haven't been in the community long enough or like earned your keep or anything, because the game's meant to be played by anybody at that point. If we had somebody else that just started playing a day ago and then blew up and got super, super popular, that's awesome. That would be so amazing if more stuff like that happened, because it's such a fun game to play, and not even just specifically D&D, any tabletop game. But if I do ever come across those people who either like bring up their stories of people having a bad time or have their like critiques about what I'm saying specifically in a song or in a parody, I generally just say okay and just go on with my day. I can't really change how they respond or type a comment, but if I'm trying to sing a song and the rhyme says, oh man, I have to do this one specific task, and they're like, that's not how that works. Okay, it's a song, so I can't go back and change it. I already recorded it, so I'm sorry that you're upset. But otherwise, it's a very rare occurrence because everyone's pretty happy about the songs and are genuine with how they feel, which is nice. So I'm thankful for that, because I don't like having to deal with conflict that's about stuff I make, so that's not fun.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I'm glad to hear that people being nice to Mr. Matt. It's because you see like some people, like, because I've seen people who do make other parody stuff, and they do say like something that may not be entirely correct, but again, it's the recognizing of like, this is a song, it's for fun. Like it's whatever. Yeah, you are watching a parody song about a tabletop game that's 100% made up and imaginary on an app that's a minute long. The world will keep moving. It is okay. Yeah. You will not have any problems for the rest of the day, I promise you. Yeah, exactly. Yo, you play D&D? Name every spell right now.
I mean, they got Stinking Cloud, I think that's one, right? First one that came to mind.
No. So there's Fireball, and then there's Fireball.
Yeah.
There's Fireball.
I think you missed Fireball too. There's a fourth Fireball spell as well.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
But that's an 8th edition, so it's totally different. It can be confused easily.
Yeah, cool. Someone get Offbeat on the phone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. And so obviously, when it comes to playing D&D, and when it comes to like us playing D&D, a lot of us have like switched over to like streaming and streaming D&D on like multiple channels. Welcoming is here, so you've done your biz over there.
Yeah.
And like how has that been, like going from like, I guess, not that much experience playing into like going into like this whole online world with it?
It's pretty wild, because obviously when I had been playing for this past year, it had been on my local game store. And so we'd play in person or go to a friend's house and play some games, and it'd be a ton of fun. We'd have a blast. And then once I had started gaining some traction on TikTok and doing stuff with like the Welcome In, or for other people streaming like Dice Cream, Sandwich, and everybody there, I had done like the Zoom calls or the Discord calls of being online and playing a game. Then all the quarantine stuff happened, and my home game transferred to that. And so I was like, oh, I guess I'm already doing what I had been doing at home with everyone else online, but just I'm doing it now for my local games too. It's a bit different joining your local group and not hearing like, all right, guys, we're doing sound check, or we're checking to see if everyone sounds good on the mic, and we have some people that are at my home games that are talking on like their cell phone they're holding up, and it's like potato quality, and my brain in the back of it's just like, I don't know. I wonder how the people in the stream. Oh wait, there's no stream. Never mind. Like I overthink it, pretending like we're actually streaming or something, and it's like, oh, say again. I don't think they heard you on that, but it's just us. So I'm like trying to I have to differentiate home games versus stream games because I sit in the same chair for all of them when we're playing.
Yeah, awesome. So a lot of like your streaming stuff has like gone into like affecting like some of your D&D games and being like dudes, like, you know, what's your language? Like, what's your language? Jeez.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait.
Well, I do a lot of self-censoring on my own just because it's easier to avoid situations like that, being like, oh man, you said something bad you shouldn't have, and it's like, well, if you don't say anything to begin with, you're okay. And then or other times, I think just recently I had my other home game, and I joined the group call we were doing, and everyone else just had like their normal like laptop audio or like just their headphone audio or whatever, and then I come with my like streaming setup, and they're just like, oh man, Matt sounds crispy, what's going on? Like he sounds like the highest quality sounding out of everybody else, and I'm like, oh sorry, I'm in stream mode and I can't really like downgrade what I'm doing here, or at least I really don't want to because it's convenient, but yeah. there's definitely a difference for sure.
Yeah, so yeah, they're coming in being like, oh man, he's sounding too good, lower that quality down, fam, so we don't feel so bad.
Yeah, it's like, all right, well, let me get a voice mod or something on here and see if I can add some potato grain quality and just be like, it's grainy.
Chuck a bit of sand, a bit of sand into your mic or something.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't do that. That itself gives me like,
I would hope not. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this microphone's not that expensive, but at the same time, if I just didn't have to do that, I'd be okay with that too.
So like, what is your typical stream setup for like what you do?
I got my desk here. I just recently got this arm mic just so that it's not sitting in like on my my desk here, or before I had my sound wall that I would use for recording audio, and that just kind of sat hulking over my desk for the longest time, which is good. It helped with audio quality, but for some of the other stuff I'm doing where I'm not needing it to be the highest of quality, this works just fine to have like a little wind dampener or noise dampener that's on it, and then a ring light over here. And that's pretty much all you need. And this is me being extra. I could do this whole thing without a ring light and just like a desk lamp or even my light in my room. But this is just me putting a bit more effort than what the normal person would for trying to have a setup of some kind. Because really, as long as you're having fun, if you're streaming a game, that's all you need to worry about.
Yeah, 100%. Like if you were to like give like a bit of advice to like someone who is watching and wants to like, you know, start streaming D&D, like what would your typical go-to advice be?
In terms of like equipment, I would probably say if you did want to make an investment, a Yeti Blue mic, which is what this is, will pretty much take you all where you need to go. I think the highest I've ever seen them is like $100, and you could probably even get them for cheaper online from certain sites with promo codes and stuff like that. A ring light's maybe $9 if you buy just the tiny small one that you need. Or you can even skip getting the microphone and everything and just get the ring light attachment for the phone, where it just goes over the top, and just use your earbuds, because that's all you'd need. Because your phone has an amazing camera, just no one really uses it very often. That would probably be the best like equipment setup recommendation, I would say. And then obviously a room that is quiet and away from everyone else, so it's not just loud banging noises 24/7.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, as well as like, you know, playing D&D, and as you know, we've touched on as well, like having D&D be your main source of your social media presence in itself. Like how have you felt like using D&D and like what D&D is to like expand that presence?
It's been neat to be able to use that. I still find it hard to consider myself like a large presence in the D&D like realm, because I'm just like, oh, I make little fun songs, but I play D&D and I'm like, oh, that guy's cool, this person's cool, this girl's cool, they're cool. And it's like, all right, well, I don't really consider myself to be that large in the community there, but for being able to take what I see from outside of just my personal games and bring that stuff back into it, I think is really cool. Like if I were to ever DM down the road, all the different ideas that I see from like random TikToks online or videos, things on Twitter, all that type of stuff is just really, really cool inspiration that I would definitely want to put into games in the future. I just need to do that at some point. I'm not making songs or playing in other games or streams with people, because that's a blast, and I'm having fun doing that for the meantime.
Yeah, 100%. And like, it may be a little deep to ask, but like, where do you see this like going into like the future?
I don't know. I would say with making the songs, if I'm able to get enough, I guess I would say support or traction with it on its own, making cool like jingles and songs and stuff like that for other people's streams that they're doing, or other like products, services, basically like those. If you consider those as like campy kind of commercials from the early 2000s, that, but D&D, just that's pretty much the vibe and the aesthetic I give off is just like, hey, that sounds like a commercial, that's fun, that's something that's catchy and sticks in your head, to go with. Or I mean, genuinely just making more like unique songs or specific things to the D&D or tabletop space that wasn't there before, but obviously making it its own thing to where it could be like monetized or put onto like streaming platforms. Because I think that's probably my number one comment from a lot of people is, when's the album coming out, or can I stream this on Spotify or Apple? And I can't, because a lot of the times I'm doing parodies and I'm just taking instrumentals from songs, which I don't own the rights to, so I can't sell that. To be able to say, hey, here, you can stream it. Because if I could put it on Spotify and just let people listen to it for free, absolutely would. But I can't, because it wouldn't allow me to do that. But that's why I have like my, I just recently started a Patreon where people can support me for creating those type of songs and being able to say, hey, I can make my own audio tracks and do these things, but obviously this isn't my main career. I have other things. I have a normal job I have to go to throughout the week that I don't have enough time to be able to crunch out a bunch of different audio tracks and make whole albums during that time. So for what time I do have, it limits me to just making 1 minute audio clips to post onto TikTok and have fun for people. So that's the limitation I'm at the moment. But if I could do this as a full-time thing, that would be awesome for making different songs, because my brain doesn't stop making lyrics, and it really won't stop on its own. And being able to expand on that creativity would be amazing.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, if you want to help Matt achieve this dream, make sure to follow his Patreon.
Absolutely. Hey, it's only $3.
Give him the money.
You get to hang out in a sweet Discord that my friend Ivy made. She's super cool, and we were able to get it squared away. And you can suggest songs for me to make and give inspirations for what the next parody would be, or even just new song on its own. Pretty cool, and all for only $3. So if you have the funds to support, I would appreciate it. But if not, it's everything else is still free in the meantime. So don't push yourself if you don't have to.
Yeah, but give him money.
I won't say no.
there will be no refusal here.
Correct. I don't think there's a button that says psych on Patreon, so I can't take it back.
Not now. Like, work.
I mean, I would hope they don't. Maybe, I don't know. That's I don't develop Patreon's website to know their programming there, but I don't want them to have an undo button. That would be unfortunate.
that would definitely be say psych right now.
Yeah, right. Just confirm your purchase, or say psych instead of cancel.
Yeah. Just petition to change like every cancel button with psych.
Cancel button change to psych. Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'm pretty sure we can get somebody to work on that for like a thing on your computer, like a plugin.
Oh yeah, like a Chrome extension that would change. I don't know, because that might get a bit confusing if you're trying to do other things on your computer and it just grammatically changes all the words that say cancel to psych. Because that would just make reading things a lot more confusing, I think, to have to deal with. But that would be a really cool or fun Google plugin to have.
Yeah, we'll get onto it. So yeah, as well as sorry, Jesus. As well as using TikTok, you're also very present on like Twitter and stuff. And like, what are like the pros and like cons to using like Twitter and TikTok?
TikTok, you can post, and then that's it for the most part. I think there, it definitely has really good reach, being able to get a lot of people to look at what you're doing, but to get more genuine like interaction and responses from people that pretty much are anywhere. Twitter has definitely a lot more of that directness to anybody. Because when I post a video and it's a Critical Role song or something, or it's a parody about D&D, I can literally just tag Dungeons and Dragons or Matthew Mercer or Sam Riegel, depending on whatever songs I'm doing, and just say, hey, look at this specific thing I made. And everybody has Twitter on their phone so they can directly see it. So like I posted a video before, Wizards saw it and they were like, oh, that's cool. Or they retweeted it, or Matt Mercer saw it. That's cool, retweet it. You're able to get directly to the person you're wanting to see it so that they can appreciate it directly. Because I don't think Critical Role has a TikTok right now. I don't know if they will get one, but if they do, hook me up, guys. I'm here for you. But for the most part, Twitter is kind of where that's at in the meantime.
Yeah, fair enough. And like, what would you say would be like some of the benefits of using like each app?
So for the benefits of each, you can definitely get people that aren't on one over to the other. Because there are a lot of people on Twitter that don't have TikTok, and they'll say like, "Oh, what is TikTok? What is that?" I have never heard of it. They can get a link directly from my page that brings them over to see what TikTok is, find our content in the community, and be able to directly interact with us and see the other things that we make instead of just posting on Twitter. Because the content that you can do on TikTok can be a bit more diverse, opposed to just uploading a Twitter video that's longer than a minute, which is the downfall at the moment from TikTok, or being able to just post words or pictures. So it's kind of like the being able to blend the two together is nice, and say, hey, this is going to be on Twitter because it goes 10 seconds over a minute, or the other one has a little bit more outreach directly to who I'm wanting to speak with at that point.
Okay, cool. And like when using like each app, because you're quite proficient in using both. You've got that proficiency in Twitter and TikTok at this point.
Yeah.
Like what are some things to consider before like say posting on each app?
In my case specifically, because I don't make a lot of text tweets. Usually when I post, I post what I'm trying to get across, which is my songs, or I retweet some other stuff that friends in the community has made. The first thing I go over is, one, does it sound good? Does it still reach the quality that I want to be able to produce and put out? And the second thing is mainly just lyrics and spelling, because I am atrocious for misspelling the word rogue and mistyping sentences and having grammatical errors all the time. So it used to get to the point where I'd make my TikTok video, send it over to my friends and say, hey, watch this really quick. Does anything stand out? And I wait for them to say like, oh, this was misspelled or this wasn't. And if they don't say anything back, then I'm like, all right, I'm good. And then post it. But other times it's just because I'm stay up very late editing a video or putting lyrics on it, and then post it the next day and don't do a check over on it. So always check if you're adding lyrics to make sure they're spelled right, because you'll find out very soon in the comments that you misspelled a word or used the wrong verbiage of it, and you just got to hit them back with the shrug emoji because you're not going to re-upload the video. So it's staying that way.
Yeah, it's going to stay that way forever. And people will tell you. Yep. They'll always point it out. Matt, they'll always point it out.
I will gladly accept it if they're not yelling at me, and I'm happy.
Yeah, I think one of the times that I remember most vividly is when there was a brief moment where I did Steven Universe content just because I had just a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And I put Steve instead of Steven. And the comment section went wild, being like, "Who the hell is Steve?" And it was like, oh god, what am I gonna do?
Oh man, ended, canceled.
Yeah, and then I proceeded to make fun of it and like use an audio where someone is referred to as Steve, and like did correct it to Steven. Yeah. It was just like, you play with it, you know.
Easiest way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I post it and then see it that it was messed up, and I was like, ah man, then I call myself out in the comments. But it sometimes works, other times it doesn't, and they're just like, okay, well, never mind. That's not going to go anywhere.
Nah, 100%. So like, what like kind of drove you to start making content online?
Well, whenever Vine was a thing back in the day, I had made videos for that a long time ago on like my really small, tiny iPhone 5, which at the time was just the standard phone. But my camera on the device had actually messed up, so I wasn't able to record videos. So I was like, I'll just lurk and watch videos for now and be okay. And then once I get a new phone, I'll be able to do that. And then just before I got a new phone, that's when Vine canceled and went away. I was like, well, there goes that. And then TikTok came around. I was hesitant because I was just like, I don't really feel like trying to strike that dream again. It doesn't seem like it would be achievable at that point. And then downloaded the app, tried to get through and put the content, which if you go all the way back, I'd have like my old Vine videos that I put on there for my TikTok, and then some other like crafting stuff because I thought I'd be a crafting TikTok channel, which I was for a little bit, and that's I got to like 3,000 followers with just that. But then I had made the song about new dice, and I was like, oh well, okay, I'll just stick to music for now. I'm not going to do crafting stuff anymore. So I still have all the components to do crafting things if I feel like it. I just haven't because it's writing stuff is a lot more easier than dealing with chemicals and compounds that you have to use to make physical dice and sand them down. So one's a lot more intensive compared to the other.
Yeah. Well, like, do you still like make dice on the side?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't made dice in a while, but I do have some dice that I've made a while back. These are just some others, random ones that I painted and put together. I also have other things like props for if I were to ever DM a game, like healing potions and stuff like that, which are cool. But other than that, not really. I haven't made many things since then, just because they're all kind of packed away at the meantime. But if I redesign everything, I could probably set up like a dice making station over there or something. I don't know. But the hard part is just with the chemicals. You don't want to keep that in a room that's closed in for the long time.
Yeah. No, 100%. Oh, pardon me. So like in that sense of like making music online and stuff and on TikTok, like what am I? What would be like the defining moment of your like TikTok career? Like what made you go from say 3,000 to 4,000 to up to now like 36,000?
Definitely the new dice video that I made. That was the first song I ever did. That one kind of blew up a lot because I don't really think at that time very many people were doing a lot of like making their own. Well, I guess I would say making their own songs. The only other person I could think of was Wes or Arcane Anthems at that time. That was like making other songs and things like that in the space or the community. And it really came from like, I want to make TikToks, but I don't know how to find the audios, just like how everyone does, like how you find the audios about Steve and everything like that. I can't do that. I don't know how to do that very well. So I just was like, I'll just make my own and then post it and we'll see what happens. And then people can use them for their own videos and stuff. And they did. And it worked very well. So the first one I did was the new dice song that blew up and got really popular. And then I waited a week and then did one for Vicious Mockery. Because I love bard spells, and then that was just, it seemed like the next.
Really, you like bards?
I reckon. I fancy him a bit. And so I posted that, and that one blew up even more than the other. And I think the first song, when I posted it, the reason why the second time it blew up was because someone said, "Can you post it with the original audio?" Because I, at the time, didn't understand how that worked. I thought when you posted a video, it would have just been used by everybody. But I tagged the original song so that it would be like, hey, you know this song, here's this. But that's not how TikTok works. So I reposted it as its own audio, and that one blew up even more than the first one did, which then kind of got me a lot of traction. I think I went from like 3,000 to like, I would probably say like 10,000 really quick, and then went to like 18, then to 20, and then it just kept going and going. But it was definitely a sudden surge of just like, oh, okay, people like these songs. I should probably keep doing this, and that's when I packed away all the the dice making equipment, and then just went to making songs for the longest time.
Yeah, awesome. I definitely remember like seeing a lot of your content and a lot of that stuff blow up. I think I just joined TikTok at the point where you were like at like 10, 15,000, and like to see like a lot of your stuff like now get blown up, get recognized, even by like D&D itself.
Yeah,
like
it's wild. It's very wild. I did not think that would be something that I would be. I would not. I didn't think I'd be in this position at the beginning of the year, because I was only just making the songs for fun, which I still am. It's a blast, but having it be a more serious thing that I can focus on is something that I'm noticing I have a lot more potential to do with the following I'm gaining from this, which is cool.
Yeah, awesome. Also, like, so you obviously creating music online, and I'm pretty sure you mentioned that you used to do a bit of music stuff before, when like online wasn't really that much of a thing for you. So like, how has it been like between like doing the two?
I mean, the DJing stuff I did a while ago, that's kind of toned down. They moved away, so I don't have that access to the equipment much anymore. But with the like just being a musician in general, I mean, I have other instruments. I have like my melodica over here. I have a guitar back there that I play, a tambourine, random odds and ends of equipment and different instruments that I use. But mainly the digital one's just easier because it's just all there. But otherwise, still having those skills, just it sounds cheesy, but like latent in you, that you don't really have to rely on very much unless you actually need to, is pretty helpful. Because when I was in band or like playing music, I did percussion, so I would play like drum set in jazz band, or I'd play marching snare drum or bass drum, or like the marimba and stuff like that, which is ironic because I don't know how to play the piano very well, so that I can play some mallets all day. If it's like key at a time, I'm good with that. But being a percussionist, I think, helps a lot, especially with rapping and rhymes, because you're able to get syncopation, rhythms, and things that just not everyone would normally be able to pick up, because they'll say, oh, this is really hard. But if someone's musically trained, they're going to say, oh, that's okay. I see what you're doing there. That's easy. I can do that too, and kind of mimic it. But so far, not many people. So I have that advantage at the moment, which is nice. But it's nice having that type of skill to go along with it.
Yeah, cool, 100%. I think we're gonna get into some questions now.
Ooh.
I think we're gonna slide in. So, audience, if you do have a question you'd like to leave Mr. Denkles, put them in the chat, and we will have our moderators send it through to us and filter. The first question, however, is I think the most important question that we've gotten from Mr. Arcane Anthony Weston. What products do you put into your beautiful mane of hair?
It's naturally curly, so I don't put necessarily like a product in it. It's actually a lot longer than it looks. It's just very curly, so it's going. It's way up there. But I think it's like, I don't know the specific brand, because my sister-in-law is a hairstylist, and so anytime I have a hair question, I'm just like, hey, what do? I don't know why this happens, and then so she's like, oh, use this, you're fine. But it's something with coconut oil, I'm pretty sure, because that's good for your hair, I think. Otherwise, it's just water, and then the curls do the work for me to kind of put it into this shape. One time I had straightened the hair. This was like back in high school, and it looked like this, but it was like half as much hair. And I straight up looked like Simba. It was crazy. But it was like the mane was just out there. It was wicked. But that was really cool. But having it like this is neat. It's kind of like the ideal look I like to have. Otherwise, like tying it back is another one. But for product, it's something with coconut oil. It's very vague. Arcane Anthems, I'll let you know directly. I'll just message you when I go check it in the other room. But
Just
for
PM.
now, coconut oil is what you're getting for now.
And I guess in that same vein, are you a separate shampoo and conditioner and body wash, or are you a 3-in-1 kind of person?
Oh yeah, obviously they're three separate. They do three separate jobs. You can't have it be body wash,
Yo.
shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste. That isn't. Those things don't. You're not supposed to mix those together in that direct order, because at that point you're just like grabbing like Dawn dish soap and saying like, okay, yeah, it'll do the job. It cleans something, but you should not mix those. If you're getting the what is it, Axe body spray or Axe body brand 3-in-1 Head and Shoulders combination pack turbo, that's not how you preserve your hair.
Someone coined that.
It'll be bad. No, that's so franchised. They're not gonna let you touch that. That's the next thing coming out in the next year or so. Watch out for it. It's gonna be like that big of a bottle because it's entirely just made of the label for just the name.
Yep. Oh my god. Okay, cool. So the next question we got from Rudolph Movo. Apologies if I said that incorrect. Is the skull behind you a personal trophy you've won from a song battle, or was it a gift?
It was a gift. My brother did some contracting jobs that had him driving like super far away, and he went to I think he went to Las Vegas for this, and he got it for me. I think it was, where was it? Yeah, this was about like 2012. It was a while ago. But he got this for me in Vegas, and I liked it because it had these like Mayan faces and stuff on there. It's really cool. But it's a super sick skull that I had stored away in a room a long time ago. But then once I started doing all the streaming stuff, I was like, this is spooky. Let me just put this on the desk.
Yeah,
which is neat. But yeah, he's my buddy, just hanging out there. But also, yes, it is from a rap battle I've decimated somebody into. That was my prize.
Has anyone seen Birdie the Bard within the past week?
Ooh, he's been real quiet since that Battle of the Bards back on the Welcome In. I don't know.
Awesome. So yeah, next question comes in from Wee Duffy 93. Our lovely Duffy.
We love it. Duffy.
Yeah, we love a Duffy. What's your favorite parody you've made / collabed on?
Ooh, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and just put it into one category real quick. It's anything I've done with Arcane Anthems. But if I had to pick out of those, the Mind Flayer song's been pretty good. I would probably say 1 Week though has been my favorite out of any of them, just because of the one part where the camera kept switching between us and we were doing that one thing at the same time. That was probably the best, because when he initially sent that to me after he added his part to it, I got chills and I was like, this is gonna be so crazy. And it was super cool. So I would probably say, yeah, anything I've done with Arcane Anthems is the best, just because genius when it comes to music. So it's so much fun to collab every time.
Yeah, genius man. And in that kind of like that same vein, like, have you like collabed with anybody else in, like, other than Arcane Anthems? Just out of curiosity.
Trying to think. I did. Yes. So I did my epic rap battles of D&D, and when I did the cleric versus the warlock, I had myself playing the role of the warlock. I wrote the whole song out, but I wanted somebody else to do the voice for the cleric, and so I had Parker Bliss from the Welcome In and from TikTok at Parker Bliss. She's awesome. Does a lot of really awesome cosplays. She's a really talented singer as well. I had her do the cleric portion of it and just said, hey, here's this, good luck, do what you can, and send me the audios. And she knocked it out of the park and did an amazing job. And so that is definitely one of my other favorite people to collab with. I also did, I don't know if I'd count it as a collab, but I remember back in the day, Mr. Shikadance from the Welcome In also did a little video pretending to be me. And then I just put that at the end of my Paladin rap I did a while back. So I guess you call that a collab too, because he rhymed in time, so I was able to put it in there without any worry. But yeah, those are definitely some pretty cool collabs. But otherwise, I think it's mainly just been Arcane Anthems, unless I'm forgetting any, which I don't think I am. I'm pretty good with remembering the songs I make. But yeah, if anything, I think that's it. If not, write a diss rap to me and I'll respond with tears.
Yeah. I will cry.
I will
But
cry
I'll
on
respond.
main, on camera, right now, here now.
Yeah. I guess I also have a question. Just again, more out of curiosity sake. How many songs have you got backlogged?
Way too many. Way too many. It's much easier to make a song than it is to make a video for the song. Especially just because I write a lot of lyrics and I don't like doing the lyrics on the videos, which is the important part. Because as fun as a song can be, I want to make sure that it's still accessible for everybody. People who might be hard of hearing or things like that can't pick up everything I'm saying. And also, I want to make sure punchlines can be met. So when I have it visually right in front of you, it's easier to get. But I don't want to leave anybody out with the content I make. So I do my best to make sure that I can put lyrics on every video to make sure that everyone's able to enjoy it and not leave anyone out. But yes, tons of songs backlogged. If I go through my folder, I'll probably find something that I was like, did I record? I did record that. Oh no, I should have probably posted that. That should be something I work on. And then I come up with something else, and I'm like, that'll be fine. I'll make something else instead. So yeah, backlogs are definitely there are plenty.
Yeah, because I've definitely in our little Discord thing and Discord conversations, I've definitely been there for a lot of songs, and half the time I'm just like, Matt never posted that song, did he? Huh.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Oh man, yeah, there was. Okay, yeah, I'm thinking there's a couple that I was like, yeah, I don't think I'd posted or forgot about. Yeah, there's definitely one. Arcane Anthems, I'm sorry. You know which exactly one I had asked you to help me with a while ago and then just didn't make a video for because it's such a big and lofty goal to try and achieve for it. But it's a cool one. If and when I make it, it'll be a cool video. I just need to make it, and it's going to take effort. But again, it takes time to do those things. So if you feel like tossing your homie some money to help me with that, patreon.com/Denkles. That's $3 is all I'm asking for. And that just lets me know that, hey, I appreciate what you're doing and I want to make sure that you have the time to be able to do that. Because otherwise I can't because it's hard to be able to work on projects for more than a minute in those cases.
Help a homie out.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. I think in that similar vein, we have one question from Falls from the Trees. Awesome username. What was the first song you ever did that you couldn't bring yourself to post?
Let's find out. Let me double check here. I'm just looking at if I have. I don't actually think I do drafts. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think there have been any that I haven't posted because usually my content's like I make it, post it, and then I'm good. If I think I'm gonna make something, I'll end up posting it. So I haven't really had many things where I made it and just didn't post it. Otherwise, it's just on the backlog with everything else. Nothing's coming to mind at the moment. I think I was gonna make a song for Barbarian a while back, and I think I had one little thing that I thought would be catchy as a hook, and I put it as a draft and then forgot about it because it was in my draft and I never touched those in TikTok. But I think it might be a Barbarian song. I can't remember because initially I was going to go through all of the classes with my raps and just do one about it. And then at that point I could pretty much do a rap about any spell or anything that I want in the book because there's so much content to work off of. But I don't think there's been one that I just put all the effort into and then said, I'm not going to post it just because I put that much effort into it. So I want to make sure it's something that's of quality for me or that I want to make sure I can stand behind proudly and be okay with having there.
Yeah, 100%. See, my first immediate thought when I think of a parody kind of song is doing a parody version of Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, that would be a sick one. Yeah.
Just that,
Hey, it's alt rock October. Anything can happen.
Who knows? Maybe we might get another song from Mr. V, like, this
Yeah,
month, maybe.
absolutely. Yeah, you and
I
Tiggy
don't
rock it
know.
out.
Me and Tiggy rocking it out. Yo. Oh boy. Oh man. But yeah. I think we don't have any more questions. So I think it might be a good time to put us off for tonight.
Sounds
Sign
like a
off.
plan.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming and drinking some tea with me today, Matt. It
Absolutely.
was
a pleasure.
always a pleasure. Yeah, always a pleasure to have you around and to have you here and talk about a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, if there is anything you'd like to promote, again, feel free to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, Denkles at Denkles on TikTok or at Matt Dinkins on Twitter, and that's DENKINS. And you can find me there making cool songs and pretty much the stuff I post on TikTok, but maybe a little bit longer. I also have a YouTube, again, Patreon. Hook a homie up if you want to. But again, that does actually help and support me with making sure that the content that I'm making is stuff that people would be interested in. Instead of it just being something that I'm gauging off of just my own interests, which is cool, because that would actually impact what I produce and what I actually put effort into to make. If there's specific songs you want made or things like that, it goes a long way. But you can actually check just before we had started streaming here today on my YouTube. I had posted my most recent parody, the "What's My Age Again" Blink-182 parody, and right after that, there is a video on how I wrote the whole thing. So if you're curious about how to write parodies or how to make your own D&D parody of pretty much any song you want, if you watch that video, it gives you a little bit of what goes on in my head as I write those lyrics, and we basically make a song together. So at that point, once you watch the video, you can give yourself some credit on that song because you helped me come up with those ideas as I was talking to the camera. But if you check it out,
Yeah.
I'd appreciate it, and hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, dope. And again, I have been your host, Mr. V. Check out my TikToks, check out my Ko-fi, and that kind of stuff. And check out my man's. Alright, he's awesome. Always help a homie out. And so yeah, I think again, thank you for joining me today, and I guess that's the tea for today. Alright.
It's
Okay.
Tea with Mr. V.